Good evening, everyone. Time is 6:04. Good evening, board members, Mr. Santos, district staff. This is the first day of April 2014. I call this meeting of the United Independent School District Board of Trustees to order. Mr. Rodriguez is not here. Mr. Vélez, would you do us the honor of calling roll?
Sure, yes, sir. Mr. Judd Gopin,
Present.
Ms. Pat Campos,
Present.
Mr. Ricardo Molina,
Present.
Javier Montemayor,
Present.
Mr. Ricardo Ramirez.
Roberto Ramirez.
Pardon.
That's okay. Present.
And myself, Ramiro Vélez, present, sir. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Agenda item number 2, closed session. The time is now 6:05 p.m., and the board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071 of the Texas Government Code to discuss agenda item 2A and B. We will be back in approximately an hour. Thank you. All right, agenda item 3, reconvene for closed session. The time is now 6:29 p.m. The board will take appropriate action on items if necessary as discussed in closed session. Number 1, approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for district-wide construction and general maintenance projects. A, approval of awarding qualifications for construction manager at risk and related professional services for Alexander High School and authorized district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposals and other matters related thereto.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Montemayor, members of the board and administration. Administration wants to recommend the following. For RFQ 2014-008, Architectural Services, the most qualified Munoz and Company, and the second most qualified Frank Architects.
You can go through them.
Through them all and then, okay. For RFQ 2014-009, Civil Engineering, to CEC Consultants as the most qualified and LNV as the second most qualified. For RFQ 2014-10, Geotechnical, to Rabba Kishner as the most, with Howland as the most qualified, and Terracon as the second most qualified. For RFQ 2014-007, which is the CMAR, the Construction Manager at Risk, to Line-Decker Construction.
So move. Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Wish him good luck, and God bless them on the construction.
All right. All those in favor? All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Item B, approval of awarding qualifications for construction manager at risk and related professional services for Troutman Elementary project, authorized district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposals and other matters related thereto.
For RFQ 2014-024, which is the Architectural Services, we are recommending Munoz and Company as the most qualified and Frank Architects as the second most qualified. For RFQ 2014-025, Civil Engineering, the most qualified would be LNV, and the second most qualified would be CEC Consultants. For RFQ 2014-026, Geotechnical Engineering, to Rabba Kishner / Howland as the most qualified, and Terracon as the second most qualified. For RFQ 2014-023, the Construction Manager at Risk, to Line-Decker Construction.
All right. Any,
Second.
we got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the issue? No discussion?
No discussion?
All those in favor? Those opposed? One opposed? All right, motion carries. C, approval of awarding qualification for construction manager at risk and related professional services for Arndt Elementary project and authorized district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposals and other matters related thereto.
For the Architectural Services, which is RFQ 2014-020, Frank Architects as the most qualified and Munoz and Company as the second most qualified. For the Civil Engineering Services, LNV Inc. is the most qualified and CEC Consultants is the second most qualified. For the geotechnical, Rabbi Kishner with Howland, and the second most qualified is Terracon. The construction manager at risk, Decker Construction.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Item D, approval and awarding qualifications for construction manager at risk and related professional services for United South High School project, and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposals and other matters related thereto.
For RFQ 2014-028, Architectural Services, Munoz and Company is the most qualified. Cavazos and Associates is the second most qualified. For the construction manager at risk, which is RFQ 2014-027, to Line Decker Construction.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Item E, approval of awarding qualifications for construction manager at risk and related professional services for Newman Elementary project, and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
For architectural services, the primary or the most qualified would be Design Group International. The second most qualified would be Hickey Peña Architects. For civil engineering, LNV, and second would be CEC Consultants. For geotechnical, Rabbi Kishner with Howland is the primary, and Terracon is the second most qualified. For the CMAR, the construction manager at risk, Sertuche Construction.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
All right. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Item F, approval of awarding qualifications for construction manager at risk and related professional services for food production project, and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
For the architectural services, administration is recommending Hickey Peña Architects as the primary, most qualified, and for the second most qualified, Design Group International. For the civil engineering, it would be CEC Consultants as the most qualified, with LNV as the second most qualified. For geotechnical, it would be Rabbi Kishner with Howland as the most qualified, and Terracon as the second most qualified. And the construction manager at risk would be Line Decker Construction.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Item H, approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for district-wide construction of security stations at main entrances, and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
Yes, for architectural, it would be Hickey Peña and, I'm sorry, did you say H or G?
We skipped one, but go ahead and go to that one that's on the screen, which is Munoz. We'll go back to the other one.
H? Okay.
I went
Yeah,
to
yeah,
H.
you're-
It would be
at H.
Munoz and Company is the most qualified, and Hickey Peña is the second most qualified.
That's on which one?
H, that's
On-
H,
okay, on
that's
H.
okay.
H. So move.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion?
None.
All right. All those in favor? All those opposed? Two opposed. Motion carries.
We'll go back to G, please.
On G, approval of awarding qualifications for construction manager at risk and related professional services for Clark Middle School project, and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
Architectural, it would be Hickey Peña Architects is the most qualified, Cavazos and Associates is the second most qualified. Civil engineering, it would be CEC as the most qualified and LNV as the second most qualified. Geotechnical, Rabbi Kishner with Howland is the most qualified, and Terracon is the second most qualified. And the construction manager at risk, Line Decker Construction.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the matter?
None?
All those in favor? Okay, unanimous. Now we're on I. Approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for United Ninth Grade HVAC replacement project and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposals and other matters related thereto.
The most qualified would be DBR Engineering Consultants, and the second most qualified would be Tessie.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
None?
All those in favor? All those opposed? No opposition. Motion carries. On J, approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for MEP Engineering Services for replacement of Brantley Hall Building HVAC/EMS systems and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
The primary vendor would be DBR Engineering Consultants, with Tessie as the second most qualified.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
None?
All those in favor? Unanimous. Motion carries. K, approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for district-wide construction and general maintenance projects and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
For architectural, the most qualified would be Munoz and Company, and the second most qualified, Frank Architects. For MEP, the most qualified, DBR Engineering Consultants, and Tessie is the second most qualified. Civil engineering would be CEC Consultants, and Meldon and Hunt as the second most qualified. For structural engineering, it would be RSCR Inc., Consulting Engineers, with Synergy Structural Engineers as the second most qualified. For geotechnical, it would be Rabbi Kishner with Howland as the most qualified, and Terracon is the second most qualified.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? I've got a question. What maintenance projects are we talking about?
Some of the bond projects were going to be done with the procurement method of job order contract. And then we also have our maintenance projects that are budgeted annually, I think, through Juan Davila's budget or also Mr. Alanice's budget for just general construction or any projects that come up.
Mr. Rangel?
Yes. Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Santos, members of the audience. Basically, this will allow throughout the year any projects that come up, renovations, remodeling that are requested by campuses, to have the professionals already pre-approved so that we can start working and expedite the projects. Anything in maintenance that is handled throughout the year. We have a capital improvements budget. It could be air conditioning or electrical or restroom renovations.
What amount of budget are you saying?
This
that
current year, we have $750,000 budget. Every year for all the projects district-wide. Normally, we have between that amount to $1 million. But projects range anywhere from $10,000, $15,000 to $100,000, depending on the nature of the project.
If I have a counter motion,
Yeah, you
Would
can
that
have an
be
amendment to
taken-
that motion.
we taking up first, or
Yeah, the amendment will be taken up first.
I'd like to make, I guess, a motion to amend, or I'd like to make a motion to approve all the other services with the exception of the architectural services.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'd second that.
So that motion needs to be considered first.
So those in favor of
The substitute motion.
the substitute motion of approving RFQ 2014-047, 048, 049, and 046. Those in favor?
This is the amended.
As
Amended
recommended.
motion.
Correct.
As recommended. And not with the architectural services. So,
So the motion
Are you-
carries, so therefore, with respect to the architectural services, the administration will go back, reject it. It's been rejected, so it has to go back for, be put out for bid again. Okay, and then they'll come back probably when, Cordy, in May, you can bring something back on that?
May.
Yeah.
okay.
So it'll be,
All right. Motion carries. L,
The vote, and the vote was 4-2
4 to
on
2.
that, okay?
on L, approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for MEP services for district-wide installation of building access control systems and authorize district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
Administration recommends DBR Engineering Consultants as the most qualified and TC as the second most qualified.
so move.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Abstain. On M, one abstention for the record. On M, approval of awarding qualifications for professional services for MEP engineering services for replacement of fire alarm systems for various campuses and authorized district administration to negotiate and enter into a contract with said proposers and other matters related thereto.
Administration recommends DBR Engineering Consultant as the most qualified and AON Fire Protection Engineering as the second most qualified.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion?
Yes. When is the proposal for the technology is gonna be put on? This engineer for replacement fire alarm systems, but is there anything different from the technology that we're gonna set up?
Well, we'll be coming to you later on this, probably either in April or May for a recommendation, but this is strictly, for the fire alarm.
For the alarms?
Yes, sir.
It's just.
We'll be coming back, do a presentation to the board first, and then, I think the committee that has been looking at all the different options will be coming back to the board. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Montemayor, we could have, just for the record, a formal action by the board to reject RFQ 2014-045, architectural services for district-wide construction and general maintenance projects. If there could be a motion to that effect, that way there's an official record of that motion.
What letter is that?
It's back to agenda item K.
K.
It's K.
Yeah.
K?
Yeah.
I make a motion to reject item K as worded and amend it as approved.
So move.
Second. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Last item agenda 4, adjournment.
So move.
Adjourn.